The casting process for the 1970 movie, later known as Gimme Shelter, was a fascinating journey. The Maysles brothers, the directors, were known for their innovative cinema verite style. They didn't initially plan to cast actors in the traditional sense, as the film was a documentary about the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour. However, the film's narrative took an unexpected turn when the infamous Altamont free concert scene was included. The Hells Angels, who were hired for security, clashed with the crowd, leading to violence. This shift brought a need for a different kind of casting, real people who were part of these events. The Maysles brothers chose David Maysles and Charlotte Zverin as the film's editors, recognizing their keen eye for storytelling. The casting, in this case, was about selecting the right footage, the right people to tell the story. They meticulously went through hours of film, piecing together the narrative, choosing the Angels, the Stones, and the audience members whose actions and reactions would best convey the chaos and tension of that day. The casting, or rather, the selection process, was about finding the right moments, the right emotions, and the right sequences to create a coherent, compelling narrative. It was about capturing the raw energy and unpredictability of the concert, the clash of idealism and reality, the dream of peace and love confronting the harshness of human nature. In the end, the casting of Gimme Shelter was not about auditions or chemistry tests, but about the Maysles brothers' ability to find the extraordinary in the ordinary, to turn a concert into a cultural milestone, and to capture a moment in history that would forever change the way we view the 1960s counterculture. The directors behind the 1970 movie, Albert and David Maysles, brought a unique vision to the project. Known for their pioneering work in documentary filmmaking, the Maysles brothers approached the movie with a cinema verite style, capturing life as it happened. They focused on the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour, culminating in the disastrous Altamont free concert. Their creative influences stemmed from their background in direct cinema, a style that emphasizes a fly-on-the-wall approach. This meant minimal interference with the events and subjects they were filming. The Maysles brothers believed in capturing the raw, unfiltered moments of their subjects, rather than manipulating the narrative to fit a preconceived storyline. Their collaboration with the cast and crew was characterized by their hands-off approach. They worked closely with the Rolling Stones, but largely let the events unfold naturally. This was evident in their decision to continue filming even after the violence at Altamont broke out. The Maysles brothers' style was also reflected in their collaboration with the film's editor, Charlotte Zverin. Together, they crafted a narrative that was both immersive and thought-provoking, raising questions about the darker side of the 1960s counterculture. In essence, the Maysles brothers' directorial vision for the movie was one of authenticity and raw emotion. They sought to capture the zeitgeist of the time, providing a unique insight into the Rolling Stones and the cultural landscape of the late 1960s. The 1970 movie, often referred to as Gimme Shelter, is a powerful documentary that offers a behind-the-scenes look at the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour. It's a fascinating glimpse into the world of rock and roll, capturing both the excitement and the chaos of the era. This movie has had a significant impact on many people's lives, and I'm sure you have your own stories and memories associated with it. Perhaps you were there at the infamous Altamont free concert, where the documentary's most memorable scene was filmed. Or maybe you were inspired by the music and the energy of the Rolling Stones and their fans. Throughout this video, we'll be sharing some funny, shocking, and sad facts about the movie that you might not know. From the chaotic planning of the concert to the shocking violence that erupted on stage, there's no shortage of intriguing stories to tell. Do you have a cherished memory or personal experience related to this movie? We'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Whether you were there at Altamont or watched the movie from the comfort of your own home, your memories are an important part of the film's legacy. As we delve into the fascinating world of Gimme Shelter, we hope you'll join us on this journey down memory lane. From the music to the mayhem, this movie has left an indelible mark on the world of rock and roll, and we can't wait to share more about it with you. The 1970 movie, known as Gimme Shelter, took audiences on a wild ride, delving into the raw energy of the Rolling Stones' infamous concert at Altamont Speedway. The set design was practically non-existent, as the film primarily focused on capturing the real-life chaos that ensued during the concert. The movie was shot in various locations, primarily at the Altamont Speedway in California. This setting presented numerous logistical challenges, including accommodating a massive crowd of over 300,000 people, managing the stage and security, and ensuring the safety of the film crew. One notable location was the St. Charles Hotel in San Francisco, where the Rolling Stones and their entourage stayed during their tour. This location served as a backdrop for several indoor scenes, offering a glimpse into the band's world during their tumultuous journey. Despite the lack of advanced filming technology at the time, the movie employed innovative techniques to capture the concert's intensity. Cinéma vérité, a French documentary filmmaking style, was used to create an authentic and raw portrayal of the events. The film crew used handheld cameras, capturing the action as it unfolded, without rehearsals or scripted scenes. The crew also utilized portable, lightweight 16mm cameras, allowing them to move freely among the crowd and capture the pandemonium from various angles. This approach resulted in a unique, immersive experience for viewers, transporting them directly into the heart of the chaos. In addition, the film employed a split-screen technique, displaying multiple perspectives simultaneously. This innovative approach allowed the audience to witness various events unfolding concurrently, enhancing the sense of realism and urgency. The production of Gimme Shelter was a daring and groundbreaking endeavor, pushing the boundaries of filmmaking and offering a captivating snapshot of a pivotal moment in rock history. The film, often referred to as a groundbreaking documentary, takes viewers on a journey through the world of rock music in the late 1960s. It provides a behind-the-scenes look at the Rolling Stones, one of the era's most influential and enduring bands. Directed by Albert and David Maysles and Charlotte Zwerin, the movie captures the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour, culminating in the disastrous Altamont Free Concert. The show was intended to be a free celebration of peace and music, but it ended in violence and tragedy. The film features concert footage, interviews with the band members, and footage of the chaos that ensued at the Altamont concert. It provides a raw and unfiltered look at the Rolling Stones and the culture of the time. One of the most notable aspects of the movie is its use of handheld cameras, which gives it a cinéma vérité style. This approach allows viewers to feel as if they are right there in the midst of the action, experiencing the music and the energy of the crowds. The film also features interviews with figures such as the Rolling Stones manager, Prince Rupert Lowenstein, and the Hells Angels, who were hired to provide security at the Altamont concert. These interviews provide context and insight into the events that took place. Despite the tragic events that occurred at the Altamont concert, the film remains an important cultural artifact. It serves as a reminder of the power of music and the potential consequences of unchecked violence and chaos. Overall, the movie is a must-see for fans of the Rolling Stones and anyone interested in the history of rock music. Its raw and unfiltered style, combined with its historical significance, make it a truly unique and captivating film. The movie score and soundtrack were crucial in creating the raw, documentary-like atmosphere of the film. Composers and musicians, including the Rolling Stones, played a significant role in shaping its musical identity. The Rolling Stones, who were at the height of their fame during the time of the movie, allowed the use of their concert footage and music. Mick Jagger, the band's lead vocalist, later mentioned that the film captured the end of an era for them. The Stones' music, such as Under My Thumb and Gimme Shelter, punctuates the narrative, amplifying the sense of chaos and tension. Alongside the Stones' tracks, other contemporary songs were used to great effect. Son of a Preacher Man by Dusty Springfield, for instance, plays during a pivotal scene, reflecting the character's emotional turmoil. The movie's soundtrack also features original music by the film's co-director, David Maysles. His score, largely comprised of simple, poignant piano melodies, provides a stark contrast to the rock music, underscoring the film's more intimate moments. The music in the film serves not just as a backdrop, but as a narrative tool, mirroring and enhancing the characters' emotions and the film's overarching themes of chaos, violence, and redemption. It's a testament to the power of music and storytelling, and how it can resonate with audiences long after the final frame fades. In a surprising turn of events, it was revealed that Meredith Hunter's stabbing in the movie actually occurred as the Rolling Stones began the first verse of Under My Thumb, despite being depicted differently in the film. The show's security was handled by the American chapter of the Hells Angels, who had previously provided security for the band's free concert in Hyde Park. Unfortunately, the American counterparts proved to be more violent than their British counterparts. Despite these controversies, the movie has received critical acclaim, with a 93% rating based on 29 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. The Rolling Stones had initially hired the Hells Angels based on their positive experience with the London chapter, unaware of the potential dangers that lay ahead. The movie's portrayal of the events that transpired that day has left a lasting impact on audiences, sparking conversations about the role of security and violence at concerts. The Rolling Stones' decision to hire the Hells Angels for security has gone down in history as a regrettable choice, with consequences that played out on stage. One of the most iconic scenes in the movie takes place at the Altamont Free concert, where the Rolling Stones are performing. Tensions are high, and the crowd is becoming increasingly unruly. As the Stones play Under My Thumb, a young man, later identified as Meredith Hunter, pulls out a gun and is subsequently stabbed by a member of the Hells Angels, who were providing security for the event. Director Albert Maysles chose to include this disturbing scene in the film to highlight the darker side of the 1960s counterculture movement. The scene is shot in a raw cinema verite style, with handheld cameras capturing the chaos as it unfolds. The audience is left in shock, as the violent scene contrasts sharply with the idealistic image of the peace and love movement. Maysles has said that the scene is included in the film to show the reality of the situation, rather than to glorify the violence. He wanted to capture the unpredictability and danger that was present at the concert, and the scene serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked aggression and chaos. The scene also features a powerful performance from Mick Jagger, who continues to sing and perform despite the chaos around him. Jagger's ability to remain composed and focused in the face of danger is a testament to his professionalism and stage presence. The impact of this scene on the audience is profound and lasting. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked violence and aggression, and a reminder of the harsh realities that often lurk beneath the surface of even the most idealistic movements. The scene has become one of the most iconic and memorable in rock and roll history, and a chilling reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked aggression and chaos. In the beginning, the movie's credits reveal an interesting detail. Keith Richards is listed as Keith Richard. The concert featured in the film was initially set to take place at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, but the city refused to grant a permit after learning that the Rolling Stones would be performing, fearing a massive crowd. The event was then moved to Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, but a dispute with the owner forced the stage and sound equipment to be relocated to Altamont within 24 hours before the concert. Additionally, the Hells Angels were hired as security for the show, despite the Grateful Dead having previously employed them for their concerts. However, the Angels present at Altamont were later discovered to be newcomers, with few leaders in attendance. These circumstances contributed to the chaotic and violent atmosphere that unfolded during the concert. The 1970 movie, commonly referred to as Gimme Shelter, had a profound cultural and social impact. The film, documenting the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour, resonated with audiences due to its raw and uncensored portrayal of the darker side of the counterculture movement. It exposed the violence and chaos that sometimes accompanied the era's idealized notions of peace and love. The movie's influence on pop culture was significant. It brought the issue of concert safety to the forefront, leading to improvements in security measures at large-scale events. The film also contributed to discussions on the generational divide, highlighting the clash between the older establishment and the younger, more rebellious generation. Moreover, the movie's depiction of the infamous Altamont Free concert, where a fan was stabbed to death during the Stones' performance, sparked debates on the responsibility of event organizers and the role of authority in managing youth-driven events. This incident marked a turning point, symbolizing the end of the 1960s utopian ideals and the dawn of a more turbulent decade. In terms of social themes, the movie underscored the stark reality of societal unrest and the dangers of unchecked violence. It served as a stark contrast to the idealized portrayal of the counterculture movement in other media, offering a more realistic and gritty perspective. The film's portrayal of the Rolling Stones, often seen as symbols of the counterculture, also challenged the prevailing narrative, showing them in a less favorable light and sparking discussions on the role and responsibility of public figures. In the 1970 film, the Rolling Stones tour featured not only Ike and Tina Turner but also B.B. King, although he doesn't appear in the movie. The band's set list included hits like Brown Sugar and Wild Horses, as well as a medley of Love in Vain from their Muscle Shoals recording sessions and live footage from the Madison Square Garden show. The concert's impact was so significant that the San Jose Mercury reported heavy traffic from as far away as Bakersfield, with law enforcement estimating that current laws would have resulted in the Rolling Stones receiving a bill for traffic. enforcement duties related to the event. Released in 1970, the movie gained significant critical attention. Renowned film critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times praised it, stating, "This may be the most realistic rock movie ever made." The New York Times' Vincent Canby also lauded the film, calling it an extraordinary documentary. These positive reviews helped establish the movie as a landmark documentary in the music genre. Audiences were equally captivated. The film's raw and uncensored depiction of the Rolling Stones' 1969 concert at Altamont Speedway, including the infamous violent incident, sparked intense discussions about the darker side of the counterculture movement. The movie served as a stark contrast to the idealized image of the Woodstock Festival, which had taken place a few months earlier. The film was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Documentary Film in 1972, further solidifying its place in cinematic history. This nomination recognized the movie's impact on the documentary genre and its influence on the way audiences perceive rock music and its associated culture. Receiving such accolades meant that those involved in the film, particularly the directors Albert and David Maysles and Charlotte Zwarin, were acknowledged for their innovative and daring approach to filmmaking. The movie's success propelled them to greater heights in their careers, and their groundbreaking style continues to inspire filmmakers today. During a visit to UCLA in 1999, Albert Maysles revealed that George Lucas was one of the cameramen at the concert featured in the movie. However, his camera jammed after shooting about 100 feet of film, and none of it made the final cut. A long pan of the day's crowd from a distance remains in the film. The Rolling Stones performed Sympathy for the Devil on the 1970 tour, despite the negative press it received. They dropped it from their set lists until 1975 when Eric Clapton joined them for their first of 5 shows at Madison Square Garden in NYC. Additionally, 2 other songs that were unreleased at the time are heard during the scenes filmed at Muscle Shoals. Wild Horses and You Gotta Move were performed, along with Brown Sugar. These songs, along with Brown Sugar, were later released on the classic Sticky Fingers album in 1971. During the filming of this 1970 movie, the audience is brought right into the heart of the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour. One fascinating anecdote from behind the scenes involves the famous Altamont Free Concert. The concert was initially intended to be a peaceful, free event for fans, but it quickly turned chaotic due to poor planning and the presence of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang, who were hired for security. The movie crew decided to film the concert, hoping to capture the raw energy of a live Rolling Stones performance. As tensions rose and violence erupted in the crowd, the crew kept their cameras rolling, capturing some of the most intense and disturbing footage of the era. This ultimately led to the documentary's most memorable and shocking scene, where an 18-year-old fan was stabbed to death by a member of the Hells Angels, right in front of the stage. Another compelling anecdote revolves around the Rolling Stones' lead singer, Mick Jagger. During the filming of a concert scene, Jagger was feeling under the weather, but still wanted to give his best performance for the cameras. To help soothe his throat, the crew provided him with a concoction of whiskey and lemon, which he sipped between songs. This little-known fact offers a glimpse into Jagger's dedication to his craft, even when faced with personal discomfort. Lastly, the film's editing process proved to be an adventure in itself. Due to the sheer volume of footage captured during the tour and the Altamont concert, the editing team had a daunting task ahead of them. They worked tirelessly to piece together a coherent narrative that showcased the highs and lows of the Rolling Stones' tumultuous 1969 tour. The result was a groundbreaking documentary that not only captured the raw energy of a live Rolling Stones performance, but also provided a stark contrast to the idyllic image of the late 1960s counterculture movement. The tragic events that took place during the film's concert scene were immortalized in Don McLean's song American Pie. The lyrics "I saw Satan laughing with delight the day the music died" referenced the chaos and violence that unfolded. One of the most shocking moments was when Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young was stabbed in the leg by a member of the Hells Angels, who were providing security for the event. Unfortunately, the violence didn't end there. In addition to the stabbing, 3 other people died at the concert. 2 people were killed in a hit-and-run car accident, and another man fell into a ditch and suffocated. The most well-known death was that of Meredith Hunter, who was stabbed and killed by a member of the Hells Angels during the Rolling Stones performance. These tragic events have left a lasting impact on the legacy of the film and the music festival genre as a whole. The 1970 documentary, Gimme Shelter, has left an indelible mark on film history. This movie, Through its raw and unfiltered portrayal of the Rolling Stones' 1969 US tour, pioneered the genre of rockumentary. It skillfully intertwined concert footage with behind-the-scenes moments, offering an unprecedented glimpse into the world of rock music. The film's directors, Albert and David Maysles, championed a cinema verite style, using handheld cameras and minimal crew to capture candid moments. This approach influenced future filmmakers, inspiring them to adopt a more natural, unscripted style in their documentaries. Gimme Shelter is also remembered for its shocking and tragic finale, the infamous Altamont Free concert. The violent incidents depicted in the film served as a stark contrast to the peace and love ethos of the 1960s, symbolizing the end of an era. This narrative has been revisited in various subsequent works, such as the 2011 documentary Stones in Exile, which further explores the band's tumultuous history. Moreover, the Maysles' work has inspired other filmmakers to delve into the world of music documentary. For instance, Jonathan Demme's Stop Making Sense and Martin Scorsese's George Harrison Living in the Material World both bear the influence of Gimme Shelter. These films continue to push the boundaries of the genre, much like the groundbreaking work of the Maysles brothers. In November 1969, the Rolling Stones made their final appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show, performing Love in Vain, Gimme Shelter, and Country Honk. The latter was a slower version of Honky Tonk Women. The filming of this performance later became part of the movie in question. The opening scenes of the movie feature a donkey, which were taken from a photo shoot for the album cover of Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. Some concert scenes in Madison Square Garden were also filmed by Albert and David Maysles, and these made it onto the album. One reason why the permit to have the concert at Golden Gate Park was revoked was that the next day, the San Francisco 49ers were set to play their final home game of the NFL season at Kezar Stadium, which was adjacent to the park. There were concerns that there would be conflicts between the football fans and any hippies who might have camped out in the park following the concert. Interestingly, the day before the concert featured in the movie, the Rolling Stones released their classic album Let It Bleed. The following day's events were fraught with tension and danger. After reviewing concert footage, police identified Alan Pissarro, a local Hells Angel, as the man who fatally stabbed Meredith Hunter. Pissarro was arrested and charged with murder. However, closer examination of the footage revealed that Hunter had pulled a gun before Pissarro pulled his knife. As a result, Pissarro was acquitted on grounds of self-defense. The Rolling Stones and their entourage faced another perilous situation as they attempted to leave the concert venue. The helicopter carrying them was so overloaded that it barely got off the ground. In fact, as it was taking off, it narrowly avoided hitting one of the hills adjacent to the concert site. The danger they faced was a stark contrast to the excitement and energy of the concert itself. Did you know that the movie Gimme Shelter sparked a national conversation when it was released in 1970? This groundbreaking film captured the raw energy of rock music and the chaos of a massive concert event. It's a time capsule that takes us back to a pivotal moment in American history. We'd love to hear about your experiences and memories related to this movie. How did it impact you personally? Did it shift your perspective on cinema or music? Share your stories with us and become part of the ongoing dialogue. Perhaps you were there at the infamous Altamont Free concert, where the movie's most memorable scenes were filmed. Or maybe you discovered the film years later and were captivated by its gritty authenticity. Whatever your connection to the movie, we'd love to hear from you. Let's keep the conversation going. Like this post, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more cinematic explorations. Together, we can delve deeper into the enduring impact of this influential